Hello, everyone. We are back with another incredible episode of the Bright Side of Beauty podcast presented by Beyond Skin Aesthetics. And today, our guest is one of my favorite pros, one of my sweet friends in the aesthetics industry. She's a fellow esthetician and owner of her very own place out in San Diego, California, sunny San Diego. I swear the best people come from San Diego. I think it's because they have sunshine all year round. They are just full of sunshine themselves. And we have really bonded actually through the ColoreScience No Better Skin Pro program. So we'll touch on that a little bit today, as well as the patient experience. And I don't want to go on too long. I want to allow my wonderful guest to be able to intro herself and tell us a little bit about her journey and how she got into aesthetics and all that. So please, without further ado, help me welcome my friend, Angie. Angie, welcome to the Bright Side of Beauty podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is wild. So first, this is like my first ever podcast. I'm like honored. Thank you.
Yay! I'm so glad. And we organized this really fast.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's also our first time meeting like in person. Like I feel like I'm on the first date. Like we chat online, but we've never actually met in person or like virtually in person.
I know. This is official. Like we are truly like Instagram besties. Like that's how I would even phrase us. I guess we've been on Zoom calls before where it's like a big group environment, but never really like one-on-one getting to chat up. Well, thank you so much for agreeing. I know, right? The first date for everyone to be able to hear. That's not awkward at all.
Let's see.
You know,
but thank you for having me. My name is Angie, owner and licensed esthetician of In the Nude Skincare, as Delaney mentioned, based out of San Diego.
I would love for you to tell us a little bit about how you got into aesthetics, how you started your practice, because I know you had a fun little journey very similar to mine. So I want to see how similar that is now that we are on a first date. So tell me, how did you get into aesthetics? What made you decide to make that change?
So I've always had very acne-prone skin, very problematic skin. Starting from high school, thought that was the worst. I was like, oh my God, however am I going to live with my face looking like this? And then college happened and I was like, this is truly acne. Like I'm talking about severe acne. Like it was really hard to touch my face. It just hurt to cleanse. So I went two routes. I went the dermatology route and then I went the esthetician route. Fair enough. I didn't do my due diligence and like research estheticians. I just went with like a Groupon. I was in college, so I just went with whatever facial I could get. Both routes honestly kind of disappointed me. I didn't find the experience I was looking for. I didn't find somebody that was educating me on why I was having acne, how to solve my acne. But I realized I was like, you know what? This is never going to be solved. I'm just going to deal with it. We're going to hide it. We're going to put makeup on and we're going to go do our thing. So I graduated from SDSU, my bachelor's in marketing, and I worked in marketing for 4 years. And then COVID hit and we were working from home. And as you know, we all had so much time on our hands. And I was like, okay, what do I really want to do in life? Like, am I happy? Yes, I was happy with the marketing, but I didn't really want to work for anybody anymore. I was working for a small startup and athletic apparel brand, but it just wasn't my vibe. I really wanted to do something I was passionate about. I was like, maybe this is my time to transition, try something new. And at the time I was looking into aesthetic school and I was like, how cool would it be if I just became an esthetician? And I didn't know if that was possible because the whole world was still shut down. So I looked into it. They actually did offer classes to start online. And then by the time things were opening up, it was ready for me to like go back and practice. So I actually did 2020, I think of August. I went in, I started school. And then by July of 2021, I got my license. And by October of 2021, I opened my practice. So that's another thing with me too. Like I went in, I signed my paperwork for school and I was like, I'm not working for anybody. Like I'm opening my own practice as soon as I'm out. So I was determined.
I love that. We have so much in common and I had no idea, but that makes sense why we were such fast friends virtually and just like clicked out of all the pros. We just gravitated towards each other, I believe.
I love it.
So I also actually, my degree before I went into aesthetics is in tourism, hospitality, and event management with a minor in entrepreneurship and marketing. So very similar type of vibe there, more of like that business side of things. I wanted to basically be CEO of Disney one year. And
Love it.
that was the dream. And I was trying to do all the different pieces of that. But going from that world into aesthetics, it's such a transition. But I feel like it's so powerful to have that business background with then that medical, especially when you take aesthetics to that medical side of things and you're learning all the formulations and how to really transform skin in the treatment room, but you know how to run the business as well.
Right.
And jumping all into, I'm so proud of you for doing that. But
Oh,
it's
thank
so
you.
hard. People think that
So
it is
hard.
easy to have your own business, and it is not. It is so much easier to be able to clock in and clock out and just do your best when you do have to be on. When you're a business owner, you are on
Yeah.
24/7, and you always have to be thinking 10 steps ahead, especially when you have
Yeah.
employees. And do you
Yeah.
have employees? How many employees do you have?
So I did. I'm in a transition period right now. So I'm a solo esthetician again. I had to
Yeah.
most of this year, and now it's just me. But I'm transitioning. Oh my God, I don't even know how much to say.
Yeah.
I haven't said this to anybody, but I'm actually, I know. Do you want to know? Should I tell you? Should I spill the beans?
I do it. So it's gonna be it'll be like mid-September when this airs.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that's
I don't know if that
perfect.
helps with.
Because I'm not ready yet. But
Yes.
I'm opening my second location in northern San Diego.
Oh my gosh,
Yay!
so exciting.
Yes. So I'm transitioning into the space where I'm all about community. And I think eventually I'll reintroduce more estheticians and hire on again. But I
Yeah.
think right now I want to focus on like the esthetician community I am already around. And I have a lot of girlies who are their own like bosses, they're running their own thing, but they're looking for different environments. And I feel like
Mhm.
I'm providing that salon space, that environment to bring in other estheticians. And I would love to
Yeah.
help them like expand, but I would also love to like build clientele with them both. Like I send them my clients, they can send me their clients. But I'm really excited because I'm focusing on estheticians with different traits. Like I don't do lashes, I don't do brows. So I'm bringing
Yeah.
in people that I absolutely love, and I'm trying to foster that community. And then my new space is actually going to have like a content room where it's more like a photo shoot. Like it honestly could be anything. It could be a podcast room. It can be content creation, whether that's for headshots or like product shots. But I want to merge the two. I want to merge marketing and I want to merge aesthetics. So I'm like really passionate about both.
Oh my gosh, you are going to be so incredible with that
Aw.
merge. We actually it was going to be my podcast studio slash like our little room for all things production, no matter what we did, whether it was social media or more like on the video format and everything. And it was such a game changer for us to be able to just like pop right in to that room.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we're also always in a transition period. There's never a moment where we're not transitioning or like learning and shifting and growing with things. So we're kind of redoing that at the moment. And this
Yay.
amazing podcast studio is where I ended up finding my
I
home
love
at
it.
for the bright side. But that is so exciting. You have such an entrepreneurial mind. I can just tell like it's always spinning and you're always going in different directions. And
Oh,
that
it is
is a power
always
move.
spinning.
Yeah. You're like, am I
For good or
just
for bad, it's always
it's
spinning.
going somewhere. I love that.
Going somewhere.
I love
Yeah.
that. So we met through the No Better Skin Pro program. And is this your first year with the program or second year?
This is my first year with the program.
Me too. Okay. I thought it was your first year as well, but I never officially asked if you actually
Yeah.
were on as well. We have so many incredible opportunities, some that we've both been able to be a part of, and I believe some that we each have been able to kind of like do separately throughout that as well. But I would love to kind of talk about like what that program is and all of the wonderful things that we get to do with it. So do you want to put it in your words of what the program is?
Yeah. Essentially, I feel like what the program is ColoreScience finding practitioners or estheticians, whoever it may be, that are passionate about educating others, whether it's clients or other estheticians, about color science, the mission statement behind color science, and how to be basically better providers. But I feel like we were chosen because we really are leaders in terms of like education. So what does that mean? That means we get access to maybe like new products. That means we have more opportunities to educate, whether it's panels or like you're going to your whole, like you're doing crazy amount of conferences. That's amazing. You're gonna have a full-on live.
Overwhelmed in the best way.
That's so fun. I can't wait to watch that. So lots of networking opportunities, of course, but I think something that I didn't expect to get out of this was really just like finding that community again. Like I felt like I was already in a community with ColoreScience. I loved all the reps. I loved the people I like met with. But this year, I've truly grown as a person, as a business owner, as an esthetician because of just the guidance I've had from all of the members of ColoreScience. Like truly, like it's even just, I tell Rebecca this all the time. Rebecca's my ColoreScience rep. And I'm like, honestly, it's great just to have a listening ear. Like a lot of the times I have these goals, like you said, my head's always spinning. There's a goal, there's a goal, there's a goal. Do I ever vocalize them? Do I ever say them out loud? A lot of the times I don't because of fear. And it's nice just to have somebody there to be the listening ear or to be, how can I, like, just strictly tell me, like, how can I support you? Or like, yeah, that sucks. Okay. Yeah. Here's what I'd recommend, you know? Like I could tell my boyfriend all day long, but at the end of the day, he's going to be like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you'll figure it out, honey.
Yeah. I'm like, it's nice just to have that community and that the listening ear. And like, I just learned a lot, even from like Alicia. Like she's really taught me that words have power, and I'm going to try my best not to use bad words throughout this podcast, but
nothing's off limit. So you can use whatever words you want. And you can also talk about Jesus as much as you want. We go both directions here. So
well, they're not even bad words. It's more like when I was telling her about like my goals and I would tell her like, I'm scared. She's like, don't say that. Like you're excited. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
Oh, so you
the power behind
when
it.
I say scared, just bleep, excited.
Yeah. Yeah. The power of what your choice in words are and your mind framing as you're moving forward.
It's all about mindset. So I truly feel like I didn't expect this. Like I honestly feel like I have so many mentors now from the ColoreScience team. And like, it's so much more than just getting free products, like new products to test or cute little swag. It's so much more than that. It's about building a family, building that community.
I have tried to tell everybody that will listen that exact thing. And I was actually pleasantly surprised getting into the program how much, our individual reps are so fantastic. And I truly believe that they have been trained to really pull the best out of us and develop us. I mean, they really are account developers versus just representatives. And so they're fantastic in themselves. But when you look deeper at ColoreScience as an entire company, they have this superpower where they can just pull out the best in you and inspire you in a way of like, yes, I can absolutely do that. Or they kind of pull that out of you to see like, what are your goals of things that may be unspoken. Maybe you've never said them out loud. You say it out loud and suddenly they have somebody that they can connect you with to help you figure out how to make that a reality. Or somebody internally. It's like internal and external. I always explain with Alicia and with Heather. So Alicia Merlot and Heather Goodchild, love them both so much. I swear they just plucked me out of a crowd and were like, you are going to conquer the world. And I explain it as like I was this little baby eagle that had like my wings tied together, and they cut the band and pushed me off of the top of a building to be like, hey, you do know how to fly, even though you've never done it before. Just go and do it. And I've been able to do that this year. And I know that's the funniest analogy, but that's just what I picture in my brain is literally they just like pushed me off the side of the building of like, you can fly.
Oh, exactly.
Go on. You can do it. I guess probably a Peter Pan analogy would be better than like an eagle being like pushed off, but you know, whatever gets us there. But they they have, they have so many years of experience in the industry. And the ColoreScience team, when you look even just beyond the two of them, they all do. And they all have different connections within the industry or different knowledge base that they've gained along the way in their experiences that then they can pour into us as pros and accounts in general. It's not just reserved for pros. But I get asked all the time, especially when we're at events or things, or when people are at events like the Wear What Works events and they see, videos of like the two of us on there. I don't know if you get DMs like this too of, okay, how do I become a part of that? Because I want to do that. And typically what they're actually looking for is free product and the clout of being on a screen or being on a stage. It's so much more than that. That is secondary. That's just kind of like the icing on top, but you've got to like build the cake. You've got to bake the cake first. And that's what ColoreScience does, is they really they bring all the ingredients together and they help us to rise to that level so that then we can just put the icing on top and be all
Exactly.
pretty. Yeah.
You're
It's
speaking
perfect.
my language, cake. Count me
Yeah,
in.
right. All the cake, all the cake. Okay. I've always got an analogy for something and I don't even know where they come from. Like, I feel like I'm not actually a person that has a lot of analogies, but when I look back on conversations that I have, I'm always pulling it back to something like cakes or eagles or Disney, or I don't even know.
I love it. That's
It
your
comes
Disney
somewhere.
background.
It's right. I've got to make it understandable for like a 5-year-old, but
Yeah.
also like a 95-year-old. That's where we're going.
No, honestly, like that's me. And when I was talking about like the two journeys that I took, I think that's what it was, is that I was seeking something out and nobody can kind of fill that gap for me. And that's why I've become the provider I am, because one, I'm
Mhm.
going to make you relax. I'm going to make you have a great time, unwind, but I'm also going to educate you. But I'm also going to educate you in a way where you understand and it's relatable too, because that's very much my brain. Like if I'm not seeing something visually, like help me visualize it. So talk to me about cakes, talk to me about eagles, because I'm going to remember that.
Right. It's gonna leave an impression for
That's
sure.
it.
That's something too that you've left a huge impression on me with, is just your expertise in training and education and how you are able to communicate different things, and your patient experience, just the strength that you have inside of your treatment room. It really does transfer. And I mean, you can see it through your social media. You are so fantastic with
Oh,
social media. You can see
thank
it through
you.
the videos that you're creating for the Wear What Works events and other things. And so I would love to hear a little bit about how you have created your patient experience, or do you call them patients or clients? I know
I call
everybody's
them
a little
clients.
different.
I actually call them nudies. Nudies are my membership
Oh,
clients. So like my monthly clients that come
I
every, yeah.
love it. Okay, so how did you come up with your nudie experience?
Yeah. So I knew, this is back in the marketing days. Like every time we were talking about why are we doing something? What's the campaign? We talked about the customer journey. That's what we called it then. The customer journey is from the very first point of contact. They come in, whether it's social media or website. What is the first point of contact somebody has with your business? And then from that contact, what do you want them to experience until they come to visit you? So I feel like it goes so much more than even just that first appointment. Like there's so much that we need to communicate with the client to let them know this is who we are, this is what we represent, this is our mission before they even get in the doors. And then by the time they come into the doors, they kind of have an expectation, or they kind of already know what kind of presence to come into, which is great too when you're trying to build clientele, especially a specific clientele. And then once you're there, you already have things set, you have systems set. This is my consultation process. This is the way that you greet them. This is how I explain to them too, like a little breakdown of what the treatment's going to experience, and then even like the checkout point too. Every little step is so thought out, and honestly, that's just being me, being bougie, being, I guess, I'm thinking back to my younger self of what did I want? What was that experience that I wanted that would have left me fulfilled when I was a college student? Because I was so scared to go into a clinic or a dermatologist's office because I was so shy of what my face looked like that it was so painful for me to even communicate what I wanted. So, bringing an environment that's already so welcoming and I kind of know what to expect is something that I wish I would have had, because then I would feel so much more comfortable talking with my esthetician, because it would have felt like it was just my sister or my friend. Um,
Mhm.
and then from there, we really just, I mean, there's so much I can talk about this for days. I feel like that's a whole
Please go off. Tell us all the
sequel.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot, but I'm like, I think that's just one little nugget that people need to pay attention to. Like, there's so much more that you need to communicate, and there's so much more in that customer journey that you need to do before even the treatment room, and then also after, because you need to foster that relationship too, especially if you want to see it grow.
Absolutely. And repetition through explaining the
Mm-hmm.
processes is so
Mm-hmm.
important. It's so I call it my interrogation light when I have like my light over my treatment bed, because we can go
Cute.
through everything, but you have your eyes closed. You're kind of like half in this daze, like where you're relaxed, but you're also learning new things about what you can be doing for your skin. You're talking through what your routine is.
Mhm.
It's a very, I don't even know how I would describe it. Almost like
It's a lot to take in.
it's a lot to take in, and you're also so comfortable that you're not necessarily retaining anything. Like when I say it's like a interrogation light, it's like in one ear and out the other. So you've got to
You're in
like
a trance.
have
Yeah.
that's the perfect, I don't know why I couldn't think of that's what I was trying to get at. You go into a trance and then you come out the other side and you're like, oh my gosh, she taught me all of this stuff and I know it was so good and it would make such a difference, but I have no idea what she said. If you write that down or you repeat it again of, I know we talked about this in the room, but I just want to remind you, this is why it's so important to use this product, or this is why we're making that change and you're going to stop using that, or you're going to start doing that, or whatever it may be, or you're going to start double cleansing, whatever it may actually be. That's what makes the difference, is really following through all the way, where it's so lighthearted and personable at the same time. It's not intimidating. And again, with my analogies, I always say it's like if you've got to have like the boob job before you can go and ask about getting a boob job. You have to like walk in the door feeling like you're all put together. We got to break that down. Like it needs to be, you can come in as you are accepted. It's a no judgment zone. And we're working towards building that confidence. We're in the business of building confidence. Like that is why we all got in it. And that's why I got in it. That's why you got in it. You were looking for something that you wish that you had, that you want to be able to give to others to make their lives better. And that's the aesthetics industry. That is literally what all of us do. So part of that experience is the finishing touch protocol from ColoreScience. And you actually do a wonderful education demo for that, for the Wear What Works events at the ColoreScience live events nationwide. So I would love for you to talk about how you incorporate that into your treatment room, what that kind of looks like, and how you've really taken that as a point of education for your patients as well, and like the importance behind it. I don't know if that made sense. I asked like 5 questions in one.
Yeah, like finishing touch protocol, that's my baby. That's my favorite. Every single facial treatment that is done in the nude skincare, you are ending with finishing touch protocol, because that's another treatment on its own, and that is included with your service, because I always take that time to educate my clients on every single product that I'm putting on their skin, which is the mineral sunscreen. But I also let them watch. So I think that was a game changer. I think I got this tip from Alicia too. Have your clients watch. I get a cute little heart mirror that they hold as I'm applying it. I'm saying, watch this. And I'm already hyping them up too. I'm like, game changer right here. This is what we're doing. This is what it does. This is like an AC for your face, which I usually say about Allcom clinical corrector.
I love I've never referred to it that way, and I'm stealing that.
Yes,
I'm going to start using
AC
that.
for the face.
Oh my gosh.
Like it calms you down. It cools you down. It will keep you controlled throughout the heat. But I love it. So, oh my God, how do I talk about this without diving in too much? I'm like, I feel like I'm going to go ahead and do my whole routine.
No, go for it. Go all the way in.
So essentially, the reason why I brought it into practice, let me back up and talk about like that part. So before I was even partnered with ColoreScience, back like my first year as an esthetician, I don't think ColoreScience was actually partnering with estheticians. I think only med spas at the time. Yes, no, I remember, because I got denied. Fun fact, I got denied because they weren't working with estheticians.
Shut down. Yet.
Yep. I guess you came back later, because I said, I'm coming back. I had goals. So I'm glad I never stopped, because now look where we are. But before I was partnered with ColoreScience, I purchased the products full retail price, and I had them in my back bar. I was actually still using them on my clients. I created my own FTP. I didn't know what FTP was, finishing touch protocol. And I was like, you have to try this. I don't sell it, but here's where you can buy it. I love it. This is the only sunscreen I ever trust. And I would do the same thing. I was showing them like, this is why it's different. This is how much you should put. This is how you should put it. Now it's actually become like a set protocol for me. And I walk them through exactly the importance of every single product and how to customize it based on like what they need. And that's truly why I brought ColoreScience on, is because when I did find somebody that was able to treat my acne, and her name's Jamie Marcus, the Skin Files. She's amazing. She was actually my teacher at Bellis Academy when I was in aesthetic school, but at the same time, she opened up her own practice. So she
what a
introduced
small world.
me to ColoreScience.
I follow her. I follow both.
Oh, you know her,
Instagrams.
yeah.
Yes. I don't know her, but I follow her. Yes.
Yeah,
she's fantastic.
So she worked with ColoreScience, and she's truly the first esthetician that made me feel so comfortable going into a practice and expressing my concerns, and of course introducing me to ColoreScience, which is great too, because a lot of the times when you get advanced treatments like chemical peels, you leave the treatment room feeling even worse than when you came in because you can be super inflamed and red. So I love that ColoreScience gives us an opportunity to treat the client's face, but also boosting confidence too. So you're feeling so much better than when you walked in. So that's truly why I brought ColoreScience on, and that's why I continue to bring it on. And it's also great too because I want to bring people in who are feeling uncomfortable and trying to hide behind their makeup. And I want to show them that, I understand you might not be at a place right now where you're fully comfortable being nude, which is why I came up with the nude skincare. But there's other options out there that are healthier alternatives, but can also double as a makeup look. So I'm still working with my client to make it realistic and make them feel confident in every single step of this journey. But I love how ColoreScience is actually treatment products and it's working on the skin. They're taking a little piece of us with them while we're not them.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. It's working all day long and it's breaking that barrier of everybody. I am the girl. I hid behind makeup so I started wearing makeup when I was in 5th grade. So I don't know how old you are in 5th grade. I want to say that that's 9, 10 years old.
11,
I mean,
something like that.
you're a baby. Like, there's no reason for you to have like a full beat at that age every day for school. But I had such severe rosacea and was bullied for it at that point. That's when everything transitioned, and I didn't even know that I looked any different until that age. But once it was pointed out, and it was repeatedly pointed out, I was so self-conscious about it that I started wearing makeup, and I wore makeup every single day until actually somebody gifted me Facial Flex. And I went to work for my first time wearing that as my coverage. And we have actually other tinted sunscreens in our practice, and they just never gave me the right coverage where it looked natural. Whereas then I used Facial Flex. That was actually my gateway drug into ColoreScience.
Yeah.
And I started suggesting it to so many of my patients that my partners were like, okay, you've either got to stop or we've got to bring this in. So do you just want to reach out to them and we'll start, like, there's no reason we can't carry it. I don't know why you're referring everybody out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
you're like, why are you
totally
getting us
right.
hooked on something you don't have?
Yeah, literally, they're like, I know you love it. And this has been transformative for you. Like, this has been life-changing for you to be able to not have to put on makeup every single day. Like, I have a full face of ColoreScience right now. I have no makeup on. It's literally every single detail of my face is either I got my brows tinted and laminated, so that's not included. But even my lip color, every single thing on my face is from ColoreScience. I could not say that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It just,
No, me either.
it couldn't be a thing. And I've actually known people that have worn ColoreScience like in their wedding instead of having makeup done for their wedding. They've literally worn ColoreScience. Like, that is, to me, I'm like, that's hallelujah. Like, we have this product that is so healthy for the skin, and it's building confidence, and it's not you hiding behind something. It is letting your natural beauty shine through. And forever, we will all be grateful for the viral SPFs and all of ColoreScience. Like, that is,
Amen.
as soon as it started going viral, I was like, this is what we're doing. Finally, the attention that this needed. Everybody's getting on board with this. Like, we need to get it in every single person's hands, which is part of ColoreScience's goal, is touching as many lives as possible with the importance of wearing SPF as well. But they do. It goes so much further than just the sun protection side of things. You are actually treating different conditions. So I love All Calm for that purpose when you're treating reds. I love Even Up for that purpose. So Even Up SPF if you're treating more of the browns, hyperpigmentation side of things. It goes so far. There's so many amazing treatment products. I know we've got a couple on the horizon that are coming in. I want to say the next year or so that will be amazing new treatment products as well. So every time they come out with something new, I'm so excited. And I love,
I got to spill the beans, but I'm like, no, chill. I can't.
I know. There's, we both have the honor of trying 2 new things that are down the pipeline very, very soon. We can actually talk about it, but not today.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that this comes out before.
Yeah.
Do we know what the launch day is?
I think you're a few days shy. It's okay.
Is it
Round
Q4?
2 next time.
Yeah, we'll have to. I'm pretty sure we're looking at end of the year, but we can attest they're amazing. So
they're amazing. Love it.
Yeah, definitely keep on in. Okay, I know we've been talking all ColoreScience, and I could honestly talk about ColoreScience for hours upon hours upon hours, but I would also like to ask you, because every practice has their own kind of set of products that they really lean into inside and outside of the treatment room. What are some product lines that you are really loving right now and your patients are really loving? And do you have different products that you use in the treatment room versus what you're sending your patients home with, or do they line up?
No, they pretty much line up. So my bread and butter is like ColoreScience DMK. More recently, actually, I had Epicutis as only my back
Yeah.
bar item, so only during treatment. But then I realized how much I loved it for home use. So I fully brought on Epicutis now, and that's honestly
Yeah.
game changer. Like that's all I have on my face right now. And I'm like, besides the ColoreScience, like my skin is glowing. I
Mhm.
love that because I'm an oily skin girly. So I used to hate the shine. I was like, map me up.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, can I get more glow?
Right.
But I love
Lipid
Epicutis.
serum. Oh my gosh.
Oh, the
I call
lipid
that
serum, but also the Hivea cream. Honestly, I didn't think I was gonna love that as much as I actually do.
I I totally agree with you, because it's so luxurious and feeling that sometimes it can be like a little bit overwhelming, but it is. It's
Mhm.
fantastic. Such a little bit goes a long way. The lipid serum though, I call that my Cinderella glass serum or glass
Oh,
slipper serum.
love it.
Like it
Yeah,
just it for the people that are like, I want glass skin. Okay,
it's it.
you can absolutely have glass skin and still have pores and still have, like random breakouts and things. Use a product that's actually helping to treat that at the same time. But also, if you want that glass skin, it's achievable and it's inside of this little bottle. You wouldn't think
Yes, I love
healthy
it.
glass skin would be inside of a bottle, but somehow they did it. They bottled it right up and then they put it in a mask form. So,
Oh my gosh, I just took the cutest content photos for that. I can't wait to share, but so
yes.
cute, so fun. I didn't know how they were gonna turn out. I'm like, this is kind of weird to film like a mask being put on your face. You might look ghosty, but they
Yeah.
came out cute.
So
So yeah,
cute. It really does photograph well from like a marketing
yeah,
standpoint.
it
Although
does.
it is so incredible for just, I always say, especially for those that have inflammation, whether it's like acne, rosacea, it's the lipid recovery masks are fantastic as like a weekly treatment or even like a bi-weekly treatment if you're able to swing
Mhm.
that. I know it is a higher price end mask, but if you're able to do that, that's fantastic too. Have you done the Color Science Total Eye gels underneath your Epicutis yet?
No, you know why? Because I have them all at the spa, and I keep telling myself, I'm
Ugh,
like, I keep seeing Delaney's posts. Let me take a few home, and I keep
you
forgetting to bring
need
them home.
to. You need
I know.
to. I sent an Epicutis mask to Alex Lang, who is um, out of Utah. She's, if Alex, hi, because I know you're going to listen to this and watch this too. But Alex is fantastic if you're looking for somebody to follow on Instagram. Of course, Angie's going to be dropping her handles at the end of this so that you can plug in with her. But she is the dot aesthetics dot anonymous, right?
Anonymous.
The
Yeah.
Aesthetics Anonymous is her thing. There's dots in there.
I'm
So
sure you'll put it in
just
the little
as you
caption in
search
the
it,
bio.
it's gorgeous. She has the best content. She's actually going to be a little teaser. She's going to be a guest. So she'll be on here. It's dropping a couple episodes
Yay!
after this. But I sent them to her and she was like, oh, yeah, this is it. Like now that we have the combo treatment, because you've got the perfect eye gels and then you
Mhm,
need something for the rest of your face at the same time. You got to treat
mhm.
like both. And I just am not happy enough with the lipid recovery mask for the eye. And I know they're teasing
Yeah,
and there's something in the
I
pipeline for them too, but I don't want to double layer. Like I need a
know.
specific eye treatment and then I need a specific face treatment. And it's just too
Yeah,
good together. Ice
I
roll.
thought of the same thing.
Ugh.
I was like, I love the total eyes. I don't
Yeah.
think I like
I can't
why
break
change
it.
it?
No.
No.
Do you use total eye concentrate in your treatment room?
I do. I use that, and sometimes I'll layer it with the Total Eye 3-in-1, just depending on the person, depending on
Yeah.
what they're gonna do after. But yeah, I do.
Oh, I love
So
that. That is actually a product that we had not introduced. We had like the tester, but we
good.
officially are retailing it. So as of the time
Ooh.
that this is live, it will be on our shelves and we'll be retailing it as well as having it in back bar. And I'm so pumped about it.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Oh my God, it feels
So
so good.
good. And then DMK. So DMK, you do treatments as well as then you have the products that you're sending home. What is there? Is
Yes,
it acne control powder? Is that what it is?
actual powder. Oh, I need some on my upper lip right now because it's so hot. I'm sweating, but it
Yeah.
usually just absorbs any kind of moisture,
Oh
or
my
it's my
gosh.
favorite like spot treatment. So if you have a
So
pimple, it's
good.
way better. It's so good.
Yes.
It's way better than like a pimple patch. I'm like, why doesn't everybody have this? So good.
And it doesn't feel too overwhelming either. Like it goes with
No.
your life. It's
Yeah.
so good. I love it
Game
so much.
changer.
Are there
I'll
any
just
other
grab a little
products?
fan brush and like use it as a translucent powder,
Just
and I am
whatever.
like game changer.
I love that so much. Are there any other products that you're like, okay, these are like my do or dies? Like if you had to pick, I don't know,
Ooh,
5 products off of your shelves that you're like, if I could get this into the hands of every single person
yeah,
with obviously a little give and take depending on what their needs are, but like, do you have 5 products that you're just like, I want the whole world to know about these 5 products?
that's so hard.
Any of the
So
brands that you have. Obviously,
you're
we
like
love
five,
ColoreScience, but
five. Okay, I'm gonna
yeah.
try to spread them out between. So I have different lines. I have Face Reality for like my acne,
Hmm.
DMK for like pigmentation, and so much. Honestly, DMK so much, but you have to be committed with the treatments.
Yeah.
That's how they work nicely. That's how I choose what client gets what product. There's Epicutis, there's a little bit of Lyra, and then that's it. A little bit of mask. I kind of dabble in with like Glymed, but my
Yeah.
ride or die 5 favorite products would have to be my All Calm Clinical Corrector from ColoreScience. That's 1. The Brush On 2. DMK, the Beta Gel. And then the Actra Powder. And then from Epicutis, the Lipid Serum. Those are my 5.
I love all of those.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you said these are the lines that I have, pick 5 products, I think that those would be the products that I would pick out actually.
They're so
We are
good.
so soul sisters. Like you just
I
get
know.
me.
I'm like,
You understand my heart. I love it.
a girl's got needs. We got needs. We know how to fill them. Shop skincare.
I love it so much. Okay, so kind of transitioning, but not. What do you see on the horizon for the aesthetics industry? Do you see anything coming that you're like, we're kind of leaning this way, but we haven't quite hit it yet?
Yeah. And I feel like everybody's probably expecting me to say, ooh, this new fancy machine, device. No, I'm going to take it
No,
back. I'm
use your hands,
no.
people.
Yes, machines and
Devices
stuff
are
are
great,
great.
but yeah.
Yeah, they are great. I love them. But on the horizon and where the aesthetics and like this whole beauty industry is going, I truly feel like we're going to be so progressive in terms of like working on internal beauty and internal health. And I feel like it's all about like mindset shift, energy, dietary lifestyle, like just honestly being the utmost healthiest human being and happiest human being that we can be. And that's what I try to portray with my brand, but also as myself too, is like, yes, we're fixing superficial stuff. We're changing your skin and you're going to look gorgeous on the outside. You already do. We're just adding a touch of glow. But
Yeah.
I'm also focusing on the inside. And that's why my Instagram series, like Client Connections, that came about because I realized that I was having really in-depth conversations with my clients. And a lot of the times I was always learning something new from them. And this was bettering me as a person. And I
Yeah.
love that because I feel like we're transitioning to a time where we're doing these treatments also for just our mind, just to
Mhm.
unwind, just for our mental health and our mental clarity. So I'm really excited to kind of see that progressive shift in the beauty industry.
I love that so much. I've seen some pressure, I would say, and it was a lot more in 2023 than now in 2024. But there was this pressure of like, when you're in the treatment room, you should be using every single second to be educating your patient and be directing them to like the next thing. And like, they're paying for your time and your expertise, so you should be giving them their expertise. And while I agree with that, I think that there's a balance. You have to have that personal touch because you're absolutely right. There are people that are coming into your treatment room to escape reality. And they're coming in because they have something that they're looking for, and they might not even know what they're looking for, but they're not happy with what's going on right now, whether it's with their skin or with their home life or with their work life, or you never know what it is that has drawn them to you or made them walk through your doors. But being able to address that, that's where the confidence building is going to come from.
Oh
The
yeah,
treatments
for
are
sure.
great, but it's a 2-part series there. Like you've got to have both playing into that. And
Yeah.
then more on the functional medicine side of things, actually, for those that are intrigued in listening to a little bit more on how that is coming into the aesthetics industry and why that is important, go back and listen to episode 2. We do have an episode on that already with Dr. Malumba and Katie, 2 of our co-founders. But that is so huge and something I am so passionate about. Wellness and aesthetics go hand in hand together. And I am so glad that so many industry leaders are jumping on that. And I hope that it just spreads like wildfire, just because I've noticed it with industry leaders making that jump, but we need that to spread. Like we need that to be industry wide. That is just the standard. That's the gold standard at this point is addressing both at the same time. I love that
Oh
so
my
much.
God. That
You're
warms my
speaking to
heart.
me. You're speaking to me so much. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking my love language.
Yes, for sure. I have a question for all of my guests, and you can take this however you would like to, in a literal sense, figurative sense. We can even chat about it a little bit, or you can just give us a good old mic drop moment on it. But that question is, what is beautiful to you?
Energy, I think. Energy. And I feel like that's how we connected is because
Yeah.
I can tell from the first, I'd say like 10 seconds when I meet somebody, whether or not I'm drawn into their energy for better or for good, for better or for worse. But energy is huge for me. So that's why I'm always mindful on the energy that I'm giving out. And I think that's why it was super impactful when Alicia had mentioned to me, like, words have power, because I was like, you are totally right. Certain words I'm using like transfers a certain energy, yes, to other people, but also to me and my mindset. So I think that's why I was so drawn to you, because you have the
Oh,
best energy in the world. And it's all
thank
about
you.
positivity, the bright side, So I'm like, I love it. I love energy. And I think that is the thing that I find the most beautiful when I'm speaking to people or meeting anybody. And I don't know, I'm just all about energies. I love the stones. I never like a Reiki practitioner or anything like that, but a lot of
Yeah.
people ask me all the time, and it's so funny, but I think it's the own work that I put into myself. Like for the longest time, well, this whole year I had a membership at a place called a Deep Space, and we were doing it's hypnosis but breath work at the same time, and then we had like
Yeah.
Manifestation Monday classes, so it was all about energy and transfers and like getting deep into like who you are and just everything. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I
energy.
love that so much. Okay, hypnosis was actually the word I was looking for at the very beginning of this episode when I was like,
Oh,
what am I?
yeah.
You're in a trance. Hypnosis. You just dropped it right there. So if you're at the beginning and you heard me stutter on and try to find my own words, there you go. Angie just
There you go.
completes me
Hypnosis.
completely. I love it. I love that so much. Energy is so important, and what you're putting out into the world is so important and impactful. I mean, you really do have the power to transform somebody's life with one interaction. They may never even know your name, but they're going to remember how you made them feel. And if you make them feel valid and welcome in your space and in the space of the world, that you never know what people are going through. Like that is understanding the impact that you can have on somebody's heart in just a 10-second period is so important in today's world. There's so much negativity and just darkness in the world that staying focused on that of just trying to be a good person and letting that light come out and staying grounded and centered. I'm all about grounding, and you gotta have like your grounding beads on and in the sunlight and walking
Girl,
on the
I got my
grounds. Like you
wind
need like
chimes. I'm like,
you need
ding-a-ling-a-ling.
everything. Everything. Yes. Yeah. You need all the things.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I want you to pimp yourself out. Tell everybody how they can find you, how they can book with you if they are in the San Diego area and they're looking for an esthetician, because at this point you know that they're in love with you. So tell us all the things. How can they find you? Yes. Like choking myself there. How can they find you, girlfriend?
Yes, if they want to book with me, you can find me on my website, itnskincare.com. If you just want to stalk my socials, itn.skincare is where you can find me on pretty much most platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the above.
I love it. Well, you are absolutely stunningly beautiful and so well spoken, and you just give off so much light to the world. And everybody, you need to go and follow along. Her content is so good, but her heart is so much better than even her content.
You're going to make me
I
cry.
love you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate
Yes, we need to catch up IRL sometime really soon. We're going to end up at the same event at some point, but forever in your corner, girlfriend. Love you so much. All right, guys, we'll see you real soon.